Hello and welcome back to another farming video with Let's Farm with your host Hardtruck1. I'm Hardtruck1. How are you doing? Game is a little sluggish for some reason. That's okay. Alright, so we're picking up where we left off last, which was we were not combining. We were cultivating field, I believe it's 30? That's 38. So we're going to continue with that, and then we're going to seed this. I'd like to remind you that I am not using any mods. Everything's going to be, and I'm not going to be using hired help. So that's how we're going to do this. So anyway, so I think we'll continue just kind of trying to get the place cultivated. And the reason why I look down over the top of my vehicles, you've probably seen it in the first episode also, is since my computer is not technically strong enough to run this, even as it is, I found that if I look down, then my computer has a little bit better, is able to function a little better without looking down. In the future, with a little better computer and stuff, if I have the capability to... Oh. Trying to drive this thing like... But anyway, if I have the ability to get a computer where I can actually look in the in-cab, I might do some in-cab driving. For now, I'm just going to basically do the top-down view of it. So we're going to get this field done. I will remind you that there is no jump cutting. Basically, I might bore you to death with doing all of the stuff, but no, basically this is basically I'm going to be doing basically everything myself, and there might become a time where I might hire some workers, but that's going to be way down the way. So anyway, so I think what we're going to do is, we don't have the ability to run corn or potatoes or sugar beets or anything like that. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to plant, I think we're going to plant probably the highest value grain, which is probably going to be canola, since it seems to be the highest one anyway. So we're basically going to plant all of these fields in canola. So we're going to plant, I think we have a fertilizer spreader, and I think we have, and I know we have a planter, because it starts here with a planter. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll get this done. So anyway, in other news, The lotto would have been nice if to win the lottery when it was up to, you know, I guess the highest it hit was like 1.5 billion. It would have been nice to have that, but well, I didn't win it. And my philosophy, I guess, is good luck to the person that actually won it, because, you know, more power to them, so to say. I'm not bitter. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. So. Anyway, we got quite a ways to go with this field, so. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this episode's gonna be another hour-long episode, but I may actually shrink them down to about 30-minute episodes, for the sake, for the fact that you know, I'm not very good at talking a lot and everything, and plus my other series are, you know, unless I live stream, my other series aren't that long either. They're only 30 minutes. Technically, on Minecraft, I could probably go an hour, because there's a lot more stuff going on with it. This one is you're just watching me go up and down a field forever, and until I get to the end of that, and then I go do something else. Everything. But with this series, we're going. But anyway, with this series, I'd like to keep it going. I may shorten it down to only 30-minute shows. But I'm gonna run the hour-longs a couple of times to see how they work. And my other philosophy for doing the hour-long shows are not not skipping everything, is because I've seen a lot of people where they start to skip something, or they skip, and nine times out of 10 the chances of something happening is so high that they and they want to capture it on. They want to capture it, but by the time they get around to, you know, excuse me, being able to hit the record button, it's already happened. And kind of with both Minecraft and this series, I don't want to jump too much, because, you know, there could be something. I mean, well, okay, in this game there's probably not that much. Okay, I run over a fence post. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But still, and then plus I kind of feel that, you know, the more content in a video, the better it is. You know, even if it is me just rambling and everything, but, you know, hello. But anyway, we're gonna get this field going. We're gonna get this field done. Judging at the time, we'll probably get at least 2 fields planted. We might be able to get them all fertilized, especially since I think we have the big fertilizer. So we can start off. We can definitely get everything fertilized. And again, I'm sorry if the video is a little jumpy and choppy, because I don't have quite the beefy computer. That's okay. I'm not complaining. Awkward silence. Anyway, no, I'm not complaining. I'm happy to have a computer. So, again, we're probably going to try to work our way up to owning all of the fields on this map. And the way we achieve that is, I think for the most part, we're going to start with getting our farm established so that it will be self-sustained. Excuse me. Sorry for that, but for some reason I feel like I have a frog in my throat for some reason. But anyway, so for the most part, we're going to try to get the farm self-aligned. I'm not going to rely on logging right now, because I have another single player here that I have been playing, and I'm doing logging on it to start with, and it seems like logging is just a bit overpowered right at the moment, because it's like I can get a full, if I get a full load of logs, let's say from the let's just say the little drag behind log trailer, it seems like I can get like you know, anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 per load of logs that I take to the sawmill. And if I don't dump them into the pond and I actually sell them for the actual lumber, for the lumber train, it's in such a way that you get so much money per log as it drops into that sell point. But then you get out of your tractor, step up to the little handle, and pull the handle and send the train off. Well, once that train basically delivers its load, it seems like you get an additional amount of money from that set of logs, which is okay, but it seems like you get a lot more money from logging than you actually do from farming. So that's the only thing that I have against logging anyway this early in the game. Believe me, in that one it took me a little while. It took me initially selling most of the starter equipment and anything that was in the silos, all of the initial grain that they give you in the silos to start that one. So basically I had to pick and choose basically what equipment I wanted to keep. Like, I think I kept one of these green tractors and I sold the others. And I basically sold the rest. I had to buy a front loader, though, because in order to be able to get the logs to the trailer. Because basically I used the front loader to load the trailer instead of trying to load it with the grapple that's on the little trailer. And I just bought a chainsaw. But basically just buying those, just buying like 2 pieces of equipment, or 3 pieces of equipment actually. And basically selling all of the farm, basically most of the farm equipment to get those. I started making, and then going into the logging, I just started making more money on logging than I really probably could have farming, because it would have took me, you know, it would have took me 4 to 5 days in game to accumulate, you know. I believe it took me like I believe it took me like maybe, I think it was like 200,000, almost $200,000, and it was on, and it's on medium, so you already start off with $100,000 in debt. So $100,000 in debt plus needing another at least $200,000 in extra equipment. You know, I was already, I'm already, you know, that's nearly $300,000 worth of equipment to start. I mean, yes, okay, I sold back and probably got maybe $150,000 from the machinery that I sold, but I still needed an extra, you know, $50,000-$60,000 in logging. But once I had all the equipment necessary to start logging, it took me basically in 12 hours in the game, or which would be, or actually it wasn't even that, it was like 3 hours of actual gameplay, and I had already I already got $400,000 from doing that. Alright, kind of looks like this might be the last pass, which would be nice, because then we can start, I'm not going to worry about that little bit right there at the corner. I am going to try to get this whole piece right here. Maybe I can get this whole piece. Might have to come back up, but well, maybe not. Then after that, then we can go get the spreader. We can get the spreader, get some fertilizer on these fields. Then we can start the planting, and then after we get it all planted, then we can advance time and get everything up. Now I might skip the advancing time, because basically all it would be is me just sitting around waiting for, basically waiting for the fields to grow so that we can, that might be the only thing that I actually skip, is just sitting there waiting for the fields to grow. Now later down the way, when we actually get more like you know, we get cows and we get sheep and stuff like, and things like that, then I probably won't skip time quite as much. At least until we get everything, you know, fed up or to the market or whatever. So, but anyway, it just seems kind of like to me, the logging in the game, especially in the base maps, it just seems like it might be just a little OP. And for those of you that don't know what OP stands for, it means overpowered. But to me, it just seems like it's a little too overpowered for the start, and it doesn't seem like the logs have like an economy, you know, like where Farming Simulator, for the grains anyway, has the flexibility of, you know, the you know, certain times the grains have like a high, there's like a high demand for a certain amount of grains, so they pull up, or they raise the price for that, so that you would bring that type in. It kind of seems like with logs, it varies with the size of trees that you bring in, but there's no like economy. There's no like, okay, well, this day, you know, we're only going to pay you, you know, 600 or 700 per log, and then like if you don't log at all for, you know, like 2 or 3 in-game days, then they don't take and, you know, bring it up to like, you know, okay, well, you haven't brought any logs in, so we need logs, and so they bring it up to like, you know, I don't know, $1,800, $2,000 a log, which they probably wouldn't, and everything. But that kind of, to me, just kind of seems like it's that's that. Okay, so we're gonna go store this, I think, over here by the combine. Whee! We're gonna come around like so. There's a combine in there. Back this in here. The plow we'll probably get rid of. I won't get rid of it right now, but we'll probably get rid of it because I don't think we're gonna need it. Okay. Whee! Whoop, wrong way. Go down here. Driving over the grass. Alright. Okay, I know there's a fertilizer spreader. Okay, guess we gotta find the fertilizer spreader. I don't know where it went. That's the combine. That's that. That's that. Oh! Well, I stand corrected. We don't have a fertilizer spreader. Okay, well, let's see what we can buy. So let's see, fertilizer spreader. Okay, 14,600. We can buy that Amazon. And let's see, it costs us $10 a day. It's a 3,000 capacity, which is more than enough to do all the fields we own right now. And it's got a working width of 26 meters, which is nice and wide. However, let's see, spray. The sprayer is 29. Oh, well, we'd have to dump a couple of loads of 40 a day. It's only that much. And I think that capacity would just barely get all 3 fields that we own right now. And then later we could do that. Now here you go again. So I'm going to be running this realistically. So actually, the fertilizer spreader would be a better choice, because this one would actually help us grow the field. So this would be giving the plants an extra nutrition. Sprayers, especially in my area, the only time when I actually see sprayers is when there are actually bugs. So technically these would not actually help in the growth of the actual plant itself, but what we would be doing is we'd be getting rid of the insects that would destroy the plants. So we're not going to go with a sprayer, we're going to go with the fertilizer to help our... Okay, that means I got to drive down to the shop and pick it up. So here we go. Road trip. Even though this is not really a road trip, it's just going down to get something. So eventually we would like to probably buy that field and the field above 24 and 29. Just so that we have that amount. And you know what? There's one implement that I would have really thought Giant would have implemented, or not. Okay, there's one thing that I would have thought Giant would have incorporated into 2015. That was probably a lot. That probably was a lot really popular in 2013 modding, and that was the ability that there was a mod called the Bank of Heritage, or Bank of Hagenstack, or whatever, however you wanted to pronounce that map. And a part of it was to be able to do the field management. So you would have been able to buy and sell, or you would have been able to buy fields. But like, let's say you started on a map that gave you, like 6 fields, okay? Well, you don't have the equipment to run 6 fields. So instead of, not using them, okay, that was not realistic, but you guys didn't see that. You saw nothing. But anyway, so say for instance you had let's say 8 fields, actually. Let's say 8 fields, but you only have the equipment to actually productively run 4. Well, before that mod, you had to keep those 4 fields, even though they were not doing you any good. Okay, now technically there was no management, basically field management, you know, costs or anything for having those fields. But basically they weren't any good to you anyway, because you wasn't big enough to run those fields, and it was going to be quite some time before you had enough money accumulated to even start. So what the mod brought into the game was the ability to sell fields. So you would be able to go, okay, well, I don't need such and such fields. Or even if it wasn't like this, let's say even like on this map, okay, they give you 24, 29, and that 30, 38 down there. Well, let's say I didn't want to keep running that field 38, okay? Let's say I wanted to buy field 30 or 25 or 23 that's closer, so I don't have to waste so much fuel going to field 38. Okay? So what I could do is I could go into that mod, and I'm sure they have it for 2015 now, and I know a lot of people probably say, oh, just go download the mod. But I'm not talking about mods, I'm talking about the actual game itself. Why didn't Giant incorporate this ability into 2015? Because I'm sure it was pretty popular in 2013. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I just wonder why there's a few elements. There's a few other things that I kind of wonder why Giant didn't incorporate into this game that were probably popular in the other game. So anyway, so we got our seeder, we got some our seeder, we got our fertilizer spreader. So we're gonna run out here, and we're gonna fertilize this one. And yes, I'm fertilizing over the top of these, but that's fine. All right, let's see, 29 meters should be right about about there for both. So we're gonna do that. Center the camera, and we're gonna extend out. And yes, I do this all the time. Extend out just a little bit. Alright, we're going to hit the number 3 button to lock our drive, and then we're going to hit the B button to start throwing. Oops, need to go out a little further with the camera. There we go. Alright, so we're going to fertilize this field. Should take us, it should take us about 2, maybe 3 passes. Then we'll fertilize that field, and we'll go fertilize 38, and then we should be think this will get it all? Probably not. Yep, that's connected there. Nope, we're not going to get it all. So we'll have a little bit of overspray on this field. But that's technically, truthfully, on the real farms and stuff, a little bit of overspray. I mean, well, this is going to be a lot of overspray because of reasons, but come on, turn off. Because see, it's like right here, if I don't want to spray it off the field, I gotta go right here. And even at that, I'm still throwing it off of the field a little bit, but that's fine. It's only money. But anyway, what was I talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about. So anyway, we'll talk about something else now. So, yeah, I think we're gonna just, oops. There we go. Hey, turn off. Alright, so we'll go down here, we'll go up and down. We'll go up and down this one. There we go. Yep. Yep. We're gonna get her done. Got to get her done. And I'm sorry if I sound a little tired. It's been a long day. Long day, and actually not quite as it's been a long, hard day, you know, working on the farm. And not this farm. I actually live on a real farm. And so anyway, I'm just kind of at one point in time I would like to go full-time with YouTube, but for now it's mainly more of a hobby for right now. Just kind of, you know, I like playing video games just as much as I like working on the farm. So what I do is I get up in the mornings and I, depending on, like now in the winter time, it's not quite as much to do on the farms and everything, so we just kind of tend to the animals and stuff during the mornings and everything, in the afternoons, and all this good stuff. I'm just going to drive like this to 38, so I don't have to readjust the camera. Oop, oversteered. So it takes just a little bit of time, and then you might wonder how I can, you know, work on the farm and still put out, you know, videos when I do. Well, right at the moment, you know, being the winter time and everything, you know, we don't have crops in the field, we don't have a whole lot to do. We just have some cows that get, you know, some feeding and stuff. Oop, almost missed my turn right here and everything. But then I have days like today where, you know, working on the farm and stuff, you know, we had to do some stuff, do some crops and everything like that, and then now I'm on here getting the video out and everything. So alright, here we are at 38. This one should be almost 3 swipes, I believe. Yeah, as long as I don't undo it right now. Definitely be 3, and then maybe a like a half a pass or something, which would still fertilize the entire field. So anyway, I don't know enough about my life. Everybody gets bored. A lot of people would probably get bored with that. But anyway, yeah. So it's kind of taking a little bit longer with having to do that, and then having to run down to the shop to get this fertilizer. So I may actually, because what are we? We're what, about 40 minutes in? I may actually cut this one a little bit shorter, and we'll start seeding in the next episode. So we'll get this completely done, and then we'll get the seeder set up on one of the other field to. So basically, when we come back, we can just step in it and get going. Excuse me. But I think after I get this field fertilized and get this back to the farm, get this one back to the farm, and get the seeder and set it up at one of the fields to start seeding. I think I'm gonna call the episode then, and then the next one we'll get on the seeder and start seeding. Then after, because that one's going to take quite some time, that one's probably going to take a couple of episodes to seed. Or no, I was just going to suggest I could seed one of the fields, and then, or a couple of the fields, and then we could come back and seal these. But that would be breaking what I want to do with the series. So basically, in the next episode, we'll be seeding. Hopefully, we'll get all of the fields seeded in that episode, so that we can kind of weigh our odds of doing something else. Or it may end up that will be a full seeding episode, and then maybe if I have just a little bit left on that one, if I have, like, half this field when that episode ends, then I'll just continue seeding that field, and then when we come back in the next episode, and then the next episode after that, we'll be able to go do something else, which may just be running grain back and forth while we wait for the fields to get done. I'll have to be up there now. Oh, here you go. So this is kind of what the computer does. It jumps a little bit while I'm in. Tractor's getting dirty, isn't it? I do like the fact that Giant has incorporated that the gauges and stuff in these, in even the in-game tractors, they actually work. So. The only thing that would make it even cooler is, like, you're driving down the road and you step on the brake pedal moves, the throttle moves, or even like the gears. It's like, you stop, you go to reverse, it would that lever right there would switch to would become, when I can talk, would switch to reverse, and then be able to reverse. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I just remembered something. But anyway, I'll deal with that, and we'll get the seeder set up. We'll get the seeder set up, and then I'll deal with that off camera. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in here with the stop, tractor, reverse. I think we're just going to park that right there. And since that doesn't actually lower all the way to the ground, we'll just drop it off on the top. So, alright. So, I'm going to put this tractor... I'm just going to park this tractor right here for right now. Alright. We'll just run over to the seeder. I think we're going to do canola. I think we're definitely going to start canola, because if we look at the prices, so canola right now is $8.23 at the freight yard, $1,000 at the grain elevator, $1,000 at the shipping office, $1,100 at the transport company, and $1,000 at the windmill. So yeah, we're gonna do canola for sure, because the 1100 for canola is a lot. Well, anyway, in this game that's a lot. I don't know what it is actually in real life. I'd have to look it up really quick to see what it is. Alright, so let's grab this tractor, which is getting dirty just sitting here. That's okay, whatever. It's not really... I can see it in a dust storm, but I really can't see it here. Okay, so... refill. We're going to switch it over to canola. There we go. Alright, we're just going to drive it out to... we're going to start from that. We're going to start with that field, so we'll go out this way. Excuse me if you could hear that. We're just going to drive this out, set it next to the we're going to set it up here next. Whoa! Okay. That machine is a lot heavier than I thought. Alright, we're going to come over here to this side. We're going to line it up. And then we're going to call it right here. So, since you can't see me outside my character outside, I'll just sit in the tractor. So next time we will start seeding the fields. I got a little bit of work off camera for right now. I won't bore you with what it is. But anyway, so we cultivated the field. We got all the fields sprayed, or not sprayed, but fertilized. The next episode we'll start seeding the fields, and like I said, if the next episode runs, we seed and we end the episode in the middle of a field, I'll just finish the field off camera, and then when we come back with the episode after, we can then wait for the fields to grow, and we'll work on something else. So until then, I have been your host, Hardtruck1, and see you when you see it. And that's just it. We'll see you when you see it, and take care. Bye bye now.